After 10 years of working for Amazon, then Google, I have learned that there is a huge misunderstanding in what it's like to work in one of these spaces. In the early times of my career, I was dreaming of working for big tech companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and all the usual suspects. Maybe that's how you feel right now, or maybe that's how you felt. Now that I'm back in the market, I'm not sure if I would seek out one of these big tech companies for a while, maybe even ever. So if you're thinking about applying to one of these places, all the power to you, but I would like for you to listen to what I have to say before making your decision on this, because you might find it surprising that some of the things I have to say might be a deal breaker for you. If you are already in the big tech industry and your experience is dissimilar or similar to what I have to say, please comment down below so that we can have more well-rounded information. And of course, what you do with your decision and what you do with your information is up to you. Misunderstanding 1. There are many interesting technical problems to solve. Fresh off the school, charged with technical knowledge and excitement, and I just went through 5 to 7 technically intensive interviews where I show off my algorithm, show off my ability to code cleanly, and all those things. So your expectation is filled with, wow, this must be what it might look like day to day, so that you can show off your coding chops. Reality is a bit plainer than that. Oftentimes, most interesting problems are already solved because you're joining a big established company. So a lot of the products are already created, and a lot of the interesting questions that you have to ask and a lot of the interesting problems that you have to solve has been already solved. Every now and then something else comes up where you can think about how can you make this feature more efficient, which way should you go. That's where you write your design doc to kind of present the information so that the team can decide together. And it's oftentimes repeated problem, and you're looking for ways that things have already been done. Choosing certain solution may be solely dependent on this is just what people do, and there's really very minimal thinking to it. Unfortunately, even if it's simple, because it's a good decision that has been made prior, because of how it reflects in the review and because you want to showcase certain key points during the review process, you end up making it sound more convoluted than it is. And also, when there is no interesting problem, you end up squeezing your brain to come up with new projects and features for the product to look nice in the dog and pony show that is your yearly performance review. Which leads me to the next point. Misunderstanding 2. Caring for your work is rewarded. In some cases, this may be true, but not because that is what matters, but because some of the focus of the way they measure your value may overlap a little bit with doing a good work to lead your product to success. Your success may lead to product success. However, product success does not always lead to your success. And this is due to a flawed review system. Many people who are experienced in the space will tell you that it's a joke. It's a bad approximation of your ability. I've seen many iterations of different performance review process. At the core, the problem remains the same because the company, with many employees, they have to come up with ways to review performance in unbiased, measurable, and in a provable manner. That is very specific to your role. Your job as an engineer is to bring technical excellence to the product, which means things like less bugs, good code review, good readability, test coverage, design doc complexity, dealing with ambiguity, all those things. You might be wondering, wow, Ezra, that sounds great. I mean, that's exactly what I want to be reviewed on. But look, your desire to make a satisfying product and trying to gain satisfaction from that may be in conflict with your desire to get a good performance review. I'll give you an example. So let's say you have a loved one, and maybe you do, not let's say, but you have a loved one, let's say they're sick. They said, hey, I would really love it if you could make me a chicken noodle soup. Now, you being a proud creator of the chicken noodle soup, you know exactly what ingredients to use, which cooking methods to use, and you can make the best chicken noodle soup ever. With that intention, you go out into the market to buy all the ingredients, you bring all the things together to make this chicken noodle soup for your loved one who is sick right now, who's desiring this right now. And you find yourself, you lack a ingredient. Normally, you would just make a substitution because what matters is the chicken noodle soup and the fact that your loved one needs to eat it right now. But imagine if you say, oh, honey, I'm sorry. I was about to make you the best chicken noodle soup ever, but we're missing some key ingredients. And I don't want this to badly reflect on my annual relationship review at the end of the year, so I can't make it right now. But I can make this chicken noodle soup, the best one that you've ever tasted, in 2 weeks, because that's when the ingredient will be available. You can see how ridiculous that might sound in this example, but I'm not really exaggerating when I say that's how it feels like when trying to converse with people who's really set on this engineering excellence or like set on making a good impression of their role. You can't blame them because that's what the review process encourages. And you can say, okay, I'll play along and I'll be one of those people so that I can get my raise, I can get my promotion. But at the end of the day, that may lead to the demise of your project. And maybe you're okay with that. I've seen many cases of projects failing and disappearing and being discontinued while the engineers are being promoted and awarded for it, because they, on paper, on design, were doing a great engineering work. In order to succeed, you need to not care about the product itself, but your role and what you bring to the table more. The love for your product is not awarded. If you are somebody who gains satisfaction from seeing people enjoy the things that you make, ultimately you find yourself dissatisfied. And as I matured within the industry, I've learned to just kind of dissociate myself from this care and just be a cog in a whole machine, playing my role, playing my part as I should, and be reviewed by that to climb the ladder or whatever. But it's soulless. You have to constantly force yourself to not care about the success of the product over and over again. Struggling to not care. I just could not care. I know, double negative, but that's how extreme I felt about that. You end up doing retroactively, trying to come up with reasons and documents and all the proofs to convince the people outside of your team that yes, you do indeed deserve this reward because what you were doing was important for the product. And that's why I was continuously looking for opportunity to just kind of expand myself, do side projects and all that stuff. And that's where I am right now. And that's why I don't know if I will ever seek out big tech companies again. I've worked with small team, big team, and they were all the same. At the moment, experience might have been different, and then the peers and how they treat me might have been different. But ultimately, when it came to reviewing your performance, it was always the same. That's what I had to say. And maybe if you're someone that really cares about what you make, and if you're someone that really enjoys making product and seeing people's reaction, and that is what brings you joy, maybe the big tech isn't for you.